Hey, hi everyone. My name is Jerry Wise, and I want to talk about how narcissistic fathers and mothers, the ways in which they shut off your feelings. Again, if we can discover how they shut them off, we have a clue to how we can turn them back on. And that's why I say the solution is always in the problem, or it's in the problem that we find the solution for what we should do in our own recovery and healing. So, how do we get those feelings shut off where we don't have feelings? People have told me all the time, I don't know what I feel. I don't even know how to figure out what I feel. Well, they probably grew up in a home where that was all confusing. And one of the ways a narcissistic family or a narcissistic parent, mother or father, will cause shut off feelings is by having too much reactivity. Narcissists are reactive experts. Everything they do is reactivity. It's always reactive. It's not often responding. Even if it's a response, it's a reactivity that's a calculated response. So it might look nice on the outside, but it generally comes from a highly charged reactive inside, an emotional life. And when there's so much reactivity going on in a family, in abusive families, alcoholic families, drug addicted families, very unfriendly divorced families, all kinds of ways in which there's conflict, or highly charged families, what is somebody going to do with their feelings? Shut them off. I don't want to deal with them. I can't deal with them. There's no space to deal with them. All of this reactivity takes up all the oxygen in the room. And I don't know how many times I've worked with parents in which I thought, these kids can't have their own feelings. Mom and dad are taking up all the oxygen and the emotional oxygen. How could they even have feelings about anything? Number two, it is not that narcissistic families or dysfunctional families don't have feelings. Many times I've had people say, oh, we never talked about feelings. Oh, so that means you thought your family didn't have feelings? No, because narcissistic families don't lack feelings. They have too many of them. It's much too many. For example, I think of this example of a narcissistic dad who could rage, but then just stay distant and avoidant out of the way and go off and do his own thing. So when he's distanced or gone off to do his own thing, do you think that means he has no feelings over there? No, he has too much feelings and too much intensity. That's why he's over there. That's exactly why he is distant. So it's generally not enough feelings whenever people go, oh, my family didn't do anything with feelings. Well, that probably tells me they had way too many and didn't know how to deal with them and start shutting them off, denying them, and acting them out. Thirdly, we were taught to shut down our real feelings and to turn on systems feelings. When we are emotionally reactive, then the anxiety that we have underneath gets triggered, and then it triggers systems feelings that we're supposed to have by reacting. For example, if you dropped a cup, broke the glass, it spilled the milk, whatever age, and that can even be adulthood, the parent jumps all over you for being so clumsy. And I can't believe you would do that. You know, you've done that since you were a child. Why are you so stupid? We then have our anxiety pinged, our chronic family system anxiety gets pinged, and then we start having feelings about that. Could be anger, maybe a natural feeling about that, but oftentimes it's like shame or guilt or unworthiness or there I go again. You know, maybe I am unworthy and worthless. And if I don't shape up, I'm going to be abandoned. Maybe I have fear about, oh, who knows if they're going to go off or not. And then maybe we have self-hate that might hurt. Oh, I did that again. And I said I was going to be really careful when I came over here. Again, we shut off our real feelings and the system feelings come on so that we fit into the system we've always fit into. There's a way to turn on real feelings and shut off systems feelings. Take a look at the program I've listed down below in the description about family differentiation and a new road to self. There'll be training, exercises, and monthly group sessions that you can have with me. I hope you'll join our community. It's been a great community. There have been a lot of people joining and who are really enjoying communicating with each other because they understand each other on a kind of a common basis. So, fourthly, when we felt weak or vulnerable, they demanded we be strong. If I was strong, they would put me down for being weak, vulnerable, and childish. It's like I was never in the right place when you're in a narcissistic home or have a narcissistic parent. Feelings are never honored, listened to, validated, or permitted even. And what's even more important, which I go to in more depth, which if we had more time here, I would go into a lot more depth, but we'd be here for an hour and a half, that you are always standing in the wrong emotional location for the narcissistic parent. You're always standing in the wrong emotional location. The good news is you can begin to change that location and stand in an emotional location that you feel is right for you and what's true for you. But growing up, that's what we learned how to do. The next point is feelings are denied and corrected. Whenever we share feelings or talk about feelings, they were often denied, corrected. Then I'm going to talk about how they were baited and switched. You don't feel that way. You ever had somebody say that? You don't feel, that's not how you feel. Or why do you feel that way? That seems dumb. You don't feel sorry. You're not sorry. You don't love your sister. You're not hurt. You don't feel hurt. You're spoiled. Hey, Mom, that hurts. Don't ever talk to me that way. I'm not shaming you. I'm telling you the truth. And I think many times narcissistic parents will use that line as well. I'm not putting you down. I'm just telling you the truth. I don't know how many people want to go to their families and tell them the truth and think they're doing a good thing. It's not the truth that matters so much. It's the package and envelope that it comes in, the emotional location that it comes in. And so oftentimes they'll come with a shaming and blaming attitude with their dysfunctional family, want to tell their dysfunctional family all about themselves, and wonder why it doesn't work out so well. Because the envelope was wrong. The message is correct, but the envelope is wrong. The emotional location, where we were, how we felt, our intensity, our unresolved anger, guilt, shame, frustration. If all that comes out, the good message gets washed away or squandered away, and they're going to deny it and ignore it. So, narcissistic parents will do that. Well, that feels like shame, Mom. I'm not shaming you. I'm telling you the truth. And again, they just denied my feeling of what I was saying I was having. And then, of course, there's the bait and switch. Tell Dad that you love him. I love you, Daddy. No, you don't. You just took cookies out of the cookie jar. Well, you told me to tell you I love you, and then you said, no, I don't. And again, feelings get so invalidated and so confused and messed up. The bad news is they do. The good news is we can do something about it as adults. We can be our own new parents. We can be our own loving person who cares about us. So what do we do? What are some tips that would help, what we could do if we've had those feelings just messed up in those many, many ways? We can start to turn on the healthy feeling switch in a safe environment where we start turning on those feelings. And when I work with people, I don't care whether they have systems feelings or true feelings. That doesn't matter. If they're feeling them, that's fine. They're always honored for that. Now we want to look at how those feelings function. True feelings come out of us because of reality. Systems feelings come out of us to get us to perform or do something in a certain way. Feeling guilt, feeling shame. Oh, well, that will control me. And those are more fake feelings. Not that we don't feel them, but they are not true to us. They have been programmed for us. Secondly, we can learn to shut off the system's feelings or the forced false feeling switch. So we turn on the real feeling switch and begin to turn off the false feeling switch. Those switches were reversed when we were kids. We can now reverse those switches now. And then what do you do about your own feelings? How do you treat yourself with regard to your feelings? Do you listen to your own feelings? Do you trust your own feelings? Do you care about your own feelings? Do you accept your own feelings? Most of us who grew up in narcissistic homes don't. And then we wonder why we have trouble with feelings. Because we have to get back to taking care of that inner child, taking care of those feelings. I think Margaret Paul has a great book, Inner Bonding, which I would recommend, so that you can begin to trust your feelings and who you are. And also see what are fake feelings or systems feelings. And then lastly, we can ask questions like, if you owned your true feelings, what problems would that cause? So if I truly owned and accepted my own feelings and then acted on them appropriately as an adult, what would be the downsides? What would that cause? What problems or difficulties would that create? I want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment, and like, and share this video. I hope you have a great day. Be wise.